Hello, this is Regiment speaking, and since we are, again, well, in my month, today is a continuation of yesterday's episode, since we kinda didn't really have enough time. So, now, here is your host, the one, the only, I think, Mr. Carl's Films 1. Take it away, my man!
Hello, YouTubers. This is Carl Simmons 1. Let me just button up this shit for just a second. I am back with part 2 of Roger Rabbit in the Parks. So let's get on with this because it's going to be a long video of explaining Roger's popularity over the years in the Disney parks. Why isn't this standing up? Give me a minute, folks. This stand I have right now, there we are. Oh, it's standing. That's me. Alright, let me just get comfortable in this chair. I step on everything, man. It hurts. Okay, so back onto the video topic for today, which is Roger Rabbit in the parks. Now, unbeknownst to the public eye, Roger Rabbit disappeared from the parks in the late 90s, and that stirred a great controversy in the early 2000s, because in 2008, around that time, Roger Rabbit's silhouette in the window when you walk into the park had been deformed, and it didn't look like Roger Rabbit anymore. Many debated that this was because of the because of the Universal and Disney exchange, because they couldn't agree on who owned the character. But why is it that Roger, Jessica, and Baby Herman are all on a billboard, yet that hasn't been torn down, but it just looks faded? And also another thing, why do you still see the Roger Rabbit props on the studio tour? Why is Roger Rabbit actually still a walk-around character, though very rarely? Why? Now, the window, again, explain about the window, that's the one thing that I have been wondering about. Why didn't they alter the billboard or change it? But they haven't. I looked, the latest picture was 2012, and I looked at it, it hadn't changed. And I was pretty shocked by this. I was appalled by this. Because, I think it's appalled. I'm getting used to new academic vocabulary. Yeah, so thing is about that sign, people have been debating about it since 2008 when the sign was kind of changed. So people thought mostly that it was a black blur painted over the old blinds. But if you look at the original opening day photos, I think they're opening day, they're around that time, you could see that the blinds are literally Roger's shape. But when you look at the blinds nowadays, you could see a black blob painted on the side. Now, it seems as if the blinds have broken, but the thing is, though, a few people I know in real life have blinds like that. And they aren't broken. They aren't disfigured. Even with the Roger silhouette, they wouldn't be disfigured. They just look really cool. Because I kind of want to get that on my blinds, to be honest with you. And I have a little bit of a curtain covering that to make it look really cool, but never mind about visionaries and dreams, but yeah, that's the one thing that's been bothering me. But why hasn't Disney been paying attention to this? Well, they really don't pay attention to the character in itself anymore. They recently, I think recent as of maybe 1 or 2 years ago, they refurbished Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin. But the reason they actually did it in early 2000s, because in 1999, an unfortunate accident happened where a boy was launched out of the cab and got crushed almost by the cabs and went halfway through the ride being crushed. He turned into literally a vegetable. No arms, legs, the ability to eat. Poor guy. And he died in 2009. So, yeah, he survived since 1999, around that time, to 2009. Now that's crazy. 10 years he survived. So I don't know how he did it, to be honest. But it was a miracle to me how he survived that long. Whereas if you guys really look accidents in Disneyland. Just quickly getting off topic here. The accident at the on the People Mover in the 80s with the super speedway. That guy died almost instantly. His body was dragged 50 feet. This guy, this poor kid, had to be dragged throughout almost the entire ride. I think it was based on how the kid was and the way he was injured. I think it may have been like during the China shop scene where the bull, you have the bull and he's tilting all the plates. Probably somebody started spinning the wheel. Anyway, again, Roger in the Parks is crazy because he was a walk-around character. If you guys seen Jeff Lang, some of Jeff Lang's videos of mousesteps.com, you know that Roger Rabbit was a walk-around character. He was a space cadet. He was himself. He actually was the conductor in the sound stational parade in Magic Kingdom. And also, he was featured in the 1993 showing, one of the showings, I think maybe even all year, of a certain Mickey Mouse related show. I don't remember what it was. And he was also a parade float. For God's sake, this guy was famous. They're going to have a big marketing campaign on this guy. I mean, they're going to have many movies based on Roger Rabbit. But that all went down the rabbit hole, basically. And I think the sad thing is, Roger's basically forgotten now. That's the one thing I really was sad about. That the world, they know him in the movie, but they don't know him outside of the movie. Oh, he's in this really good movie. That's all people ever really heard of him. But if you were born in the 80s, like late 80s, you probably got to go to, if you lived near Disney World, you probably got to go to the Roger Rabbit areas, and I thank you for that. I mean, okay, another thing, the studio tour, no joke, had nothing but Roger Rabbit related stuff. No Catastrophe Canyon, none of that stuff. It was all related to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Now that is pure Roger Rabbit stuff. On the restaurants in the one part of the studio tour, there's the Toon Patrol van with cutouts of the weasels back then. They still have the van now, but it's been changed, which, God, I hate them for, because I love the weasels so much. They are my favorite characters in the movie, because, to be honest, it's just, I don't know, I'll have to do a whole video about the weasels sometime soon, but they have the Toon Patrol car, they have the trolley that they use in the film, all the cars, for guts, and they're all rotting in the boneyard, not really in the boneyard, like in the back. That's a shame, man. All those cars could be refurbished and restored and used in new Disney stuff that takes place around that time. But especially the trolley. That would be an awesome thing to own. Imagine setting it up on your street, you're going up and down with it and showing your friends that it was from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. If you're a Disney nerd like me, you'd probably want that thing in your backyard. And then all this in your swimming pool and a Mr. Toad car all the way going around your house. Yeah, that's pretty wacky, but seriously, you guys don't even know how big and obsessed I am with Disney stuff. But anyway, back to Roger Rabbit. I think the mystery has been kind of solved around the blinds. Disney just doesn't care. I feel bad for the people who had to go put all that strenuous work in bringing the props from California to Orlando. I praise you for that. Because if it wasn't for the people who got them from California to Orlando, I don't think we would have never seen those Roger Rabbit props. Not even the Dipmobile, which is one of the most impressive pieces of the film. And actually, even still to this very day, search it up, as of 2008, yeah, really outdated by now, but it's good enough, because at least in the 2000s, the original, and I mean original, Benny the Cab stunt car is still in the queue of the studio tour. Now that's crazy. And you can see all the soot and oil all over. It smells of oil in there, too. And they talk about, like, the stages of it inside that one little area. Can't sit on the darn thing, though, which would be awesome. It's like a little go-kart-like vehicle. I wish I could show you guys it. So, this better representation. Where are you? There you are. This cab originally was a stunt buggy. very crazy, wacky stuff. But yeah, we are running out of time. I have maybe less than a minute left, but overall, Roger, he may appear in the parks every once in a while, but he's he is one of those fads that now most likely currently lives in Wasteland. And if they were to make an Epic Mickey 3, they probably should put Roger Rabbit in there. Who knows? But if I don't think they're going to be making Epic Mickey 3 anyways, because Junction Point closed down earlier this year, which I'm really sad about, because darn, if they would have made Epic Mickey 3, that would have rounded out the series, basically. Probably bring Roger in there, Mr. Toad, for crying out loud. I was waiting to see Mr. Toad in those games, but I didn't see him, so, eh. But anyways, that's about all the time we have for today, and to clear up the mystery, Roger probably now resides in Wasteland, along with the huge Oswald the Lucky Rabbit fad of the 1920s, late 20s, and Roger, it was the late 90s that his demise came around. Yeah. Roger lived many years, but in the parks now, there's nothing left of the poor guy. But there is kind of a tombstone to the character. In the Pop Century Resort on the Walt Disney World property, there's a giant statuette of Roger, giant statue of Roger Rabbit standing on a giant barrel of dip. Yeah, you can see it. It says turpentine, A1 turpentine, which is part of dip. And you can see some tomb buildings in the background as a facade, but that's one of the only things you have left of the poor guy. So see you guys, and that rounds out the mystery to who stole, why isn't Roger Rabbit in the parks anymore? It's going to make a parody off the original title, but it doesn't work. See you guys, and thank you for watching my videos. Comment, rate, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode.